Okay, guys, in this video, we are going to continue our work on the method of elimination or addition. And in this case, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to solve for one of the variables because you can't just add the two equations because you don't have any additive inverses like 2x negative 2x or y negative y. You don't see that. So there is going to be an extra step involved before you can add up the equations. So let me show you what to do. So you've got 2x plus y equals 9. That's the first equation. And then x minus 3y equals 1. That's the second equation. All right. So let's say we're trying to eliminate y. Now, it is actually your choice. You can eliminate x if you want. But here they're saying eliminate y. So we're going to work with that. Okay, so here's what you do. You're going to locate the number in front of y. Okay, and that number is going to be this right here, including the sign. Okay, and you're going to ask yourself, is there something that I can multiply the other y, the one in the first equation, by, so that when I add them up, I get 0? So is there a number that I can add to negative 3 and get 0? So some number added to negative 3 will give you 0. You probably already shouting there. You probably know what it is. It's 3, isn't it? So if it's 3 and negative 3, they cancel out, right? And that's how we're going to eliminate that y, okay? So let's see if we can do that. All right, so let's multiply the first equation by 3. Now, when you are multiplying the equation, so this is going to be 3, all right? You have to multiply the whole thing. You can't just multiply like the y and then leave everything else the same, because then the equation is not going to be balanced anymore. Like it's going to be out of balance and it's going to be incorrect. So what we're doing is we're multiplying this whole thing by 3, which means that we're going to distribute that 3 to all the terms, not just to the first term. Okay, so what will happen? 3 times 2x, that's going to be 6x. Then 3 times y, that's going to be 3y. And then 3 times 9, that's 27. Okay, the other equation we are not going to change. So we're going to keep it the same. We're going to rewrite it. Okay, so in here, by the way, I will type that 6x in a second plus 3y equals 27. That's what's going to happen there. Now, what's going to happen when I add them up? Well, you probably already know that 3y and negative 3y are going to get eliminated, right? That's why this method is called elimination. So what are we going to get on the left-hand side? Well, 6x plus x is like 6 cars plus a car. That would be 7 cars, right? So when it says x, this is the same thing as 1x. So when we add them up, we get 7x on this side equals, well, this is going to be 27 plus 1. So that's 28. Okay, the last step to solve for x is to get rid of the 7. And remember, the default operation is times. So we are going to divide both sides by 7. And that is going to cancel it here. And then 28 over 7 is 4. So that's what's going to happen over here. That's going to be 4. Okay, so let's do that. So first we said, okay, we can multiply the first equation by 3. When we did that, we got the following equation. And now when we add it to the second equation, we got what? We got 7x equals 28, and then we divided by 7, and we got x equals 4. All right, so that's x. What about y? Well, I am going to use one of the equations, either the first or the second. It's going to be my choice. And then I'm going to solve it for y, because I'm going to take this 4, and let's just say that I'm going to insert it for x in the first equation. You could use the second, it doesn't matter. So instead of x, I'm replacing it with 4 plus y equals 9. Now, first multiplication, so 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, and then finally what we're going to do is subtract what? Oops, what did I put? Subtract 8 from both sides, right? Because it's plus 8 minus 8. When we add it up, we're going to get rid of the 8s. So we're going to subtract 8 to both sides. What are we going to get there? So plus 8 and minus 8 cancels. And so we're going to just wind up with y equals, what is 9 minus 8? Well, that would be 1. So that tells you that y equals 1. Okay, so my solution is 4, 1. However, before I start, moving on and going to another question, what I'm going to do is check it, because I'm going to go under resources over here and I am going to use Desmos calculator in the sidebar. So let's open that up. And what I will do is type the left-hand sides of each of the equations, replacing the unknowns by parentheses. Not the right-hand sides, just the left-hand sides. Okay? And then I'm going to stick these two values, the 4 and 1, inside the parentheses. So 4, 1 goes here, and then 4, 1 goes here. And that has to match your right-hand side. So you can see that they're matching, and now I know that this is correct. Okay? But if they're not matching, what that means is I probably messed up, and I need to go back and check my work.